Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Hello and welcome to Inspection Insights. I am your host Sam Cheney and we are going to be talking about everyone's favorite piece of metrology software, Geomagic Control X. Today we have a fairly simple workflow, just revisiting some of the classic tools and workflows that we need to go through that you'll probably have to go through if you have a scanner and you're bringing in multiple meshes. We are going to be processing some scan data today. We're going to be starting with multiple point clouds. As you can see on the left here, we have lots of unorganized data. It looks like some of it is aligned already, but you can see there's lots of backgrounds. I think there's like 25 different pieces of scan data. We are then going to split them into the kind of top half and bottom half, the two different scans, merge each of them together, and then stitch the two merged results together and triangulate it into a mesh. And after that, that's the full workflow for today, so it should be a fairly quick one. For any long-time fans of this series, that you'll know that I cover this every time we do an Inspection Insights episode, but I think it's really important, so I'm going to cover it again. So this is a typical inspection workflow. We start with scan data. This can either be point clouds or a mesh, or other formats actually. We support lots. And then reference data, which is typically either native CAD files from SolidWorks, Inventor, Creo, or neutral formats like IGES, STEP, or Parasolid. Once we've got those two, a reference and a measured, we align the models together and then perform our inspection program. Now, if this is the second or third time that we are doing this inspection, we just need to hit regenerate and then we have an inspection report. But if this is the first time we're making an inspection template for this given part number, we will need to add 3D comparisons, 2D comparisons, and then real dimensions as well. So, plane to plane, point to point, cylinder to wherever. Lots of different dimensions to match the drawing. We then calculate the measurements and then generate a inspection report so we can share with friends or other stakeholders, whoever needs to see if this part is within spec or not. We have 3 different plans that you can pick from when you're evaluating which version of Control X is right for you. Starting off with our most basic offering, Control X Essentials. This is a comprehensive inspection toolset. It does allow you to do some pretty advanced inspections. The only things that you are missing out on are scanning directly into Control X. For that, you will need Essentials Connect or higher, and also multiple result inspection, and then some of the more advanced inspection tools as well. It should also be noted that with Essentials and Essentials Connect, you cannot bring in native CAD files, so solid parts, solid assemblies, or Inventor native files. You will have to convert them to more neutral formats like a STEP, IGES, or a Parasolid. With Essentials Connect, the big difference between the lower version Essentials and Essentials Connect is you can now scan directly into the software, and you can work with handheld scanners or metrology arms or so on and so forth. We have lots of different plugins that are supported from lots of different brands, I might add. Finally, Control X Professional. This is really the Ferrari of our offerings. It has everything that's included in Essentials and Essentials Connect, but it also has the ability to do multiple result inspections for large projects. Same with the more advanced comparison tools for aerofoil profiles, surface damage and defects, and then also obviously the native CAD file support as well. So the last step I want to show you before we jump on over to Control X is resources. So here is our email for Americas. If you're watching this outside of the Americas and you want to contact support, you can go to our support website and then it will provide you with the email for the specific region that you're looking for help in. Be sure to check out the website as well as the rest of this YouTube channel. We have lots of resources available for new and experienced customers We have a two webinar series. Obviously, this is the first one, Inspection Insights. We also have one for those who are interested in reverse engineering. It is called the RE Lab, or the Reverse Engineering Lab, and it's hosted by Greg George. That gets a new episode every week, and it is live, so you can tune in whenever you like it, or you could check out the reruns on YouTube. So yeah, help is just a click away, so feel free to either reach out to support, go to our website, check out our YouTube channel, or more. But with that said, let's move on over to Control X and cover today's workflow. So we're inside Control X. Again, for those of you completely fresh to this, it is built off a Parasolid CAD kernel. So if you think of this left-hand side as like the feature tree, we have different buckets that have different things that get added. Today we're really just focusing on this measured bucket, and we're going to process this scan data down. On the top we have our toolbar, which has different tabs that contain different tools. Again, I'm going to be focusing mainly on the measured toolbar because that's really what our focus is today. At the very bottom we have our area list, as well as our information, more detailed information about the dimensions that we're taking. Right now we don't have any dimensions, so we don't have anything to show. And you can see, as I was trying to move this back down, I accidentally popped this this tab out. So you can rearrange the tabs if you want to put it on the side, if you want to put it on the top, if you want to just remove it entirely. It's up to you. And you can see these little icons as well. If I press here, you can see there, it will snap it. But I don't actually need it. So you know what? I'm just going to remove it today. Keep it nice and clean. Okay, so in the main middle window, this is our kind of main view manipulation. And if you're ever wondering how to control X, if you come up to this corner, there's a tiny little triangle. If you click that, it will show you your mouse control as well. Now, if you want to change the mouse control, you can always come to Menu, File, Preferences, and then you can set up how your mouse is controlled. Okay, so on to processing this scan data. Well, first thing we can tell is this icon here, these little icons. These are points. So this is scanned as a point cloud, and we want to get it into a mesh. Well, there's two scans right now, so we need to split them up. And I think they probably, I think we could just click and see which of the two halves is being turned off. And I've already reviewed this data, so I know 13 is actually this next one. And we just need to come in and turn off scans 1 through 4. Okay, now we've got our first big piece of surface or mesh. We need to clean it up. Now, I could probably just try and smart select all this area, but I'm going to use this tool here, Polyline Selection Tool. And I'm also going to make sure that I turn visible only off, because I want to cut through everything, even if I can't see it. So I'm going to start over here. Click, click, just selecting a nice wide area of the mesh. And then I'm going to, with a little bit more precision, select this area here. And then double click, and there we go. I've selected this, and I can just tap the delete key, and now all I need to do is go in and remove these small floating artifacts as well. And if I want to be kind of lazy, I could come down here and also include that little floating piece of data there as well. Try that again. There we go. Magical. Okay, so we have our first scan. You can see we've got some missing data from the area where it was placed, but we've got a really nice scan of the top. If I want to as well, just to make this easier, I could also group these into different different groups, or with everything that is selected, I can come and select all of this and then use the combine tool. So there we go. We now have one combined point cloud. We're going to do the same thing for the one on the other side. Turn on all of the scans. And now I need to just remove it away. Now I think coming from this other side might be a little bit easier. And we know we have data on the very bottom on this area over here. So I'm not actually too concerned with losing a little bit. So here, if I come down to zoom out a little bit, there we go. Click, click, and then just roughly get there. Double click, delete. And there we go. We could do that in one operation rather than the 2 or 3 that we had to do last time. I can do the same thing again. I can do a combine. You can see I'm also leaving the remove overlap regions option on. This just prevents the file size being really large when we have overlapping regions or data. Okay, so now we have our 2 scans. We need to align them. So we can do align between measured data. We find this in the measured tab. I also believe it's in the quick start tab as well. So a few different ways that we can do this. Now we could pick how we want this to look. I'm going to put this back down here. We can either do it based on the auto guess, or we could do picked points. I will do picked points today. Auto guess is very similar. It just requires a little bit more time, and then you can. We don't see that there. Not a problem. Maybe let's do auto guess instead. There we go. Hit the check mark, and it will automatically align these 2 scan datas if we have overlapping regions, which we should. All of this side profile for both of them, and you can see there we now have that sorted. Hit OK. Oops. So if you hit the bottom check mark, it's going to run the tool. If you hit the top check mark, it's going to exit it, and we've already aligned this, so we don't actually need to do this again. So now we have this. It's still a point. It's still 2 aligned meshes, but we need to combine them. And instead of doing combine like I've done in the past, we're going to do triangulate. So this is going to combine them and then also give it a turn it into a STL file, so an actual mesh rather than collection of points like you see here. So we're going to say mesh construction. I'm going to hit this OK mark, and it's then going to give us one scan, and you're going to see this icon, this little dotty icon, change to a mesh icon. There we go. And it looks like we triangulated both of them, but we didn't actually merge the 2 together. So we could either go and undo and do this again, or I can come to my quick start tab and run the mesh buildup wizard, give it a reference, give it a moving, hit the check mark, there we go. We now have one mesh that is completely ready, and you can see there's still a few holes, so if we wanted to, we could really dig into the weeds on editing the mesh. We could fill the holes, select a hole that we would like to fill, grab a couple here, fill it based on the curvature, hit the check mark. Okay, failed to fill. Typically, when we see that error, it's probably due to some kind of random artifact in the mesh. So before you actually jump into the fill holes command, what you should do is run the healing wizard. Hit the check mark, and then the few errors that still exist will be solved. You might come up with failed to heal. Would you like to run it again? No, we managed to solve all of them. Perfect. So now we can come in and grab some of those holes again. Hit the check mark. Mesh boundary 12. Let's see. Okay, it must be this one. Maybe instead of trying to fill it all in one, we can partially fill it if we need to. There we go. Do this and this. Okay, there we go. Now we can do the boundaries for these smaller pieces. There we go. Now again, this mesh is a little rough, so if I wanted to, I could defeature some areas, or I could work with it. Again, that's more for reverse engineering or preparing a part for 3D printing. For inspection, we want to leave the mesh as found or as scanned as we can, because if we come in and if this spiky area here is actually damage or an irregularity, we want to be able to compare that and check that rather than digitally modifying the scan data. So that's everything for this one. Hopefully this has been a useful workflow highlight. Feel free to comment down below if there's something else you'd like to see for next episode. And yeah, I'll let you have a good day and talk to you on the next one. Goodbye.